Okay, here's another completing the square, a little bit more complex because we have these three things and a number on the other side. Remember what I said to do first. Let's see if we can get rid of that. We want the ax squared plus bx, wow, I don't know what I was thinking there, by itself, and we want that lead coefficient to be 1. So we want this stuff by itself first, so we're going to add the 37 to both sides. So now we have 4a squared plus 16a is equal, well, 37 subtract 6 is 31. Well, now we're going to divide, remember we want this lead coefficient to be 1, divide each term by 4. So now we have, that cancels to 1. A squared, oh, I know why I had the a's here, because in this example there wasn't an x, there was an a squared. Sorry about that. So 16 divided by 4 is 4a. We're going to put plus blank. And now we have a fraction. Do not turn that to a decimal. We're going to put plus blank. And remember what goes in that plus blank. That c value is b, half of b squared. So half of 4 is 2. 2 squared is 4. When we add 4 to this side, we want this to have the same denominator. So 16 divided 4 is the same as 4. 16 divided by 4 is 4. So we're going to do that. And then remember, once this is a perfect square trinomial, you take the square root of the first term, you take the first operator, you take the square root of the second term, and that becomes a binomial squared. 31 plus 16 is 49. So you have 49 fourths. Now square root of both sides. The square root of something squared, that cancels to a plus 2. Well, the square root of 49 fourths is like saying square root of 49 over the square of 4. And remember, we have both a positive and negative result. Square root of 49 is 7. The square root of 4 is 2. So we have positive, negative 7 halves. And then we need to get the a by itself. Well, the additive inverse to 2 is negative 2. Well, these two aren't the same fraction. So when I add negative 2 to this side, I'm going to rewrite that as negative 4 halves. Negative 4 divided by 2 is negative 2. So it's negative 4 halves subtract 7 halves, which is negative 11 halves. And I'm going to have to write it over here. A is equal to that negative 4 halves plus 7 halves. Negative 4 plus 7 is positive 3 halves. So when you do the solution set brackets, negative 11 is smaller than positive 3, so you put negative 11 halves over 3 halves. Just like this. And let me reiterate the steps. So we got the first two terms by itself, and that lead coefficient is 1. And then we added the plus blank to both sides. And in the plus blank, that c value is half of b squared. Now once you have a perfect square trinomial, it factors to the binomial squared. So this right here factored to this binomial squared. So in our case, we ended up with a plus 2. And then we had some stuff over here. We're going to take the square root of both sides. And when you do that, when you take the square root of the right side, you have to take the square root of the positive and negative version. All right, just be really, really careful when you're doing these.